What's good, One Crack News? Let's get into it. Because a lot of people ask me this question a lot. Because a lot of people say, Cino, not everybody want to be a boss. Like, no kidding. That's why you got a lot of people that are workers. It's like racehorse. You wouldn't compare a racehorse to a plow horse. They both horses, right? But I know the plow horse don't want to race. And I know a racehorse don't want to be a plow horse. You wouldn't definitely keep them in the same area. They're different. So it wouldn't make sense to do that. In a company, for example, you encourage people to use a person to advance their business careers. Like if you go to a business meeting and then you see the senior vice president in the middle of the meeting comes in and sits down, it has a different weight. Let's just say, for an example, to make it simpler to everybody else in the world, let's say LeBron James walks in a room while your boss is talking to you, and he has a seat over there by the bosses. That'll have a whole different weight to the conversation or whatever your boss is saying, because now it's like, whoa, LeBron James, what are you doing here? So now your attention is more like focused. You're sitting up a little bit more. And the reason why that is because no, I actually didn't see Kwame's live. I didn't even get the alert that he was live. You got to remember, like, this is like basically my sleeping time. But anyway, there are many different occasions where this is presence at a meeting, and all of these significance and all of these things can play to someone's advantage. So over the years, you notice different things that's involved when it comes to these businesses that instill confidence in people. So you want to make sure that you look at a copywriter or something from Microsoft, one of those advertising agencies or something like that. You got new hardware working, new software working all the time, right? So if Bill Gates sat down from Microsoft at the table and started talking about creative concepts and whatever, the racehorse is gonna be like, I relish this moment. He's ready at the gates. The plow horse would be scared to death. He would rather have the comfort of dealing with somebody else like the supervisor or whatever than dealing with the pressures of trying to please the main boss. He just want to be left alone to just do his job. But the racehorse, he relished the fact that that guy came. He wants that information. He wants to get out there and go. You see, and that's the difference. That is the difference. Now you have sorry about that, people. Tired a little bit. But if you don't have the endurance for the race, you're not gonna make it in this business. You're just not. People love to, is that's why you have workers. Everybody can't be the boss because who's gonna do the job? People think the bosses do nothing. That is a misconception of how a business works. The boss job is to handle all of the responsibilities. They're taking responsibility for what the work you're producing. It's on their heads. If you mess up, the boss is messed up. He's paying you to do a job or service. If you're screwing that up, he's going to have to replace you because you're hurting him. He or she, put it that way. So that should make sense to everybody and everyone. If not, then I don't even know what we're doing here then. So we're aware, no one is saying that having a job is a bad thing. People made that look like, look, man, not everybody can be a boss and everybody can go out there and run their own thing. Sure you can. You can work for yourself and be your own boss, but I'm just saying, we're aware that other people have jobs. They want to move up in the ladder and do that. That's fine. But think like a boss. To be a good boss or an owner, you should first learn to be a good employee to know what it's like. That's because most people don't see it for themselves. They see a degree of selfishness. Well, I see a degree of selfishness in a lot of these people, a lot of them. They don't seem to possess the same characteristics as a person that's trying to move up the ladder or trying to even sustain. Most people go to their 9 to 5 just to work the 9 to 5 and waiting on Friday so they can go out and kick it. Man, me and my girl, we finna go to this comedy club this weekend. Then we gonna go here. Then we gonna do this. It's like, all right, whatever. You know, knock yourself out. To some people, they love that life. They're tired of chasing and moving up the ladder to do this and do that. They don't want to do that. They happy running in place. I got friends that are afraid to be friends with me anymore. I'm serious. Have you ever seen that? You ever had a friend that's afraid to be your friend anymore? Because they're not happy with their station in life? I kid you not. They're not happy with their station in life. So they don't want to be around me because it makes them feel bad. Knowing I've been around people who have less than them that never mattered before. Never. It's just their own psycho analysis of their own station in life, their own perspectives. Because of that, they can't escape it. It's like into their psycho DNA. They act like I got like $6 million or something. Like, I'm the $6 million man. They have built that up in their mind. Like, man, he on YouTube, man. He making crazy money, man. He got that money. He got it. I'm like, you don't know what I got. But still, they are afraid. I see them, I'll be like, hey, what's going on? Oh, no, man, I'm good, man. But yeah, man, I'm gonna holler at you, man. It's like, what's wrong with him? He been acting weird, like, for a minute now. See no DiBiase. That's funny. But knowing your boss helps you when you're at your job. If you know your boss, you know what your boss wants before they even ask it, if you're good. This way, it keeps you from having to see your boss. This way, you can still work and really tell your boss what to do. The boss wants less worries. He don't want to have to come out and have to get on you and ride you and tell you what to do at your job. The boss just wants everything to go smooth so he can go about his day doing paperwork and everything else he got to take care of for the business. So you should know what the boss wants before you even say something. I'll be like, all right, it's Tuesday. He's coming over. This got to get done. This got to get done. Here you come. But most people who go to their jobs, they could care less about the company and what's actually going on. They don't even know how they get paid. They just know that this is how much they're supposed to get paid. So they don't even try to look to find out how the company makes money, how the business is making money, how you're going to make money when this is all said and done. I don't think they've all thought about that. I didn't always work from home, sir. I worked in the field for real. Machine shops, all of it. I did it all. He did it all legit. Real estate, business consultant. We've done it all. So when I brought up and did the video, racism in the machine shops, man, you should have seen how many alerts, every year somebody see that video and go, that's the same thing I'm going through here at this job. And I didn't know it was going to have that much of an impact. That video has an impact, and it continues to have an impact, which is shocking. That's a video I never thought in my day. I thought that's a video that I just make and it'll just be there. People say that's cool, 1 or 2 days. That video I made years ago still gets hits. Still people come back and talking about that. Our job is to put it back when they ask for too much. Well, that's the job of a steward. I'm gonna talk to that trash man. What the hell you doing throwing my trash can on the ground? Live from Canada. What's up, man? I see you. Live from Canada. No, it's a lot of different scenarios out there that's in place that doesn't make a lot of sense. So to me, I'm used to it. Well, people don't know procedures, and they know that. Like I told you, they tried to bring in a guy to be our boss, and our supervisor then wanted us to train him to be our boss and supervisor. And I'm like, who wants to do that? That don't make any sense. It was like, can you just show him how to do this, this, and this? And we're like, for what? Well, the scenarios always change. Yeah, but it's different when you're not the boss. If the boss said, hey, I need you to show him how to work this machine, then what are you going to do? Well, then what are you going to do? Your boss come in and say, hey, this is the new guy, so-and-so, he going to be your assistant over here. He going to be the assistant supervisor. So I need you to train him on how to do this job. You didn't get replaced because you were never the assistant supervisor. So that job was void. And they hired someone who had no previous experience in the field. His previous job was loading up baggages at the airport. That was his previous experience. And he walks into an assistant managerial position and has to get trained on how to do the job. Now, the guy was a great guy, but that wasn't the point. Yep, you guessed it. He was white. You think they would have done that for anybody else? The manager is Hispanic, and his assistant, he didn't even have one. They wouldn't even name an assistant until somebody said, "Hey, you got to name an assistant." It's about 4 or 5 people qualified, but they didn't have a white person to put in charge, so they went and got one. Luckily for me, I was in charge of my own thing. I was in a separate division from that. At that point, I was in a separate division. So I could do what they did, but I've already done all that. So now I'm like making too much money for my position. So they add more responsibility. So my job exceeds what they're doing. It's like when everybody does their job, I got to put all that stuff in the computers. That's my job now. I do that, and then I run the Singularity machine that does like some specified, like I'll say, it's different type of metals, like mostly the expensive metal. I worked with those, so I could run that one machine by myself, but I know how to troubleshoot it. They don't, so that makes me valuable to the company because I can save them money and make them money. So I never really had to deal with him, the assistant. He was mostly for the other employees who just want to come in and do their job and get a check. The protocols in the book, I read them. So I knew my rights. So if you know your boss, you got to know the rules of the company. Even though you work there, you got to know the rules of the company. See, I knew rules and procedures. They tried to make a rule specifically to just me, to where it would pertain to just me. So I'll never forget it. They had their little racist game wanted to play with me to try to hold my money one time. Because like I said, I was making too much money for my position. They knew it. I knew it. But they screwed that up. And they were looking at the numbers like, how is he making this much? He's been here that long, and we got to give him more to do. Like, he's making all that money just to do that. Yep. Damn. How are we going to fix this? So they came up with this little racist game. And I was tipped off. I was tipped off by the HR lady who was getting ready to leave the company. She told me, she said, they have this point trap thing that they're doing. Hopefully you survive this point trap system that they got for you. I said, what? They're taking a bet in the office on setting this trap system Like if I come late, or if I go to lunch late, or any of these things, like they betting each other dinner and stuff on my behalf, that I would forfeit my money, the bonus money that I was supposed to, I actually get, period. And then they tried to make me play the game, saying like, well, you know, we don't have to give you this money. This your bonus. I was like, well, technically you do. Because see, if you do this, then that means you have to do this for every single employee in the company. Now, if you're going to do this policy for every single employee in the company, I have no problem. I'm like, I have no problem with it. Let's go and do it. If this is going to be the new policy, I'm with it. Let's go. But see, that's not what they wanted. Because I'm like, in your procedure book, this is illegal. So they tried to go and use the old policy. Well, we were going by the old rules. Well, we can't do that. We got to go with the rules that's consecutively what we have right now. So you can't say what I would have had. Because if that was the case, then we can go by the old rules. I would have had 0. If we were on the old policy, you can't go back to the old policy to make current decisions. That's a violation of that procedure book, which will make me go to the human resource office and you'll be liable in court. So I don't think you want to do that. So it was a hilarious ordeal. And I said, you know what? Because I love a challenge. I said, you know what? Forget it. Let's do it. Let's go ahead. And if I get to that date, you got to give me my money. No problem. Let's do it. Because I was going to prove them wrong. And I hope that was the guy that betted against me, which it was. He was the guy that betted against me. And I couldn't wait for them to have to pay me that money. That was the funniest thing ever. He had to come out and shake my hand and congratulate me. And I could see the look on his face. Congratulations, you got your bonus. I'm like, you guys are so stupid. Of course I was getting the bonus. Now you got to pay me more money to do the same job. It was ridiculous. Now they messed up. It was like, man, we got to pay him. Like, this guy really did it. Like, he focused every day, came in, didn't do anything wrong. They looked for anything they could, and they just like, damn, we got to pay him the bonus. Because I know my bosses. You got to know your bosses. I knew what they wanted before they asked. They be like, oh, did you do that? Okay, don't forget at 3:30. I'm like, that's already done. It's done and done. I already know what you're gonna ask. The UPS truck will be here at like another 2 hours. Dean will be here to pick up the UPS. It's done and done. All the orders is coming, FedEx. It's all done. All the orders are put in. It's done. Oh, okay, great job. They could, there was nothing they could do. Nothing. They tried. They tried every stunt in the book, and they had to pay that money. What was the amount of the bonus? I would say about $6,000 at that time. About 6K. About $6,000 bonus. Yeah, it's about 6,000 at that time. Yeah, I mean, you got to think about this was years ago, many years ago. I don't even think YouTube was around here. Was it? Was YouTube around? YouTube might have just came about when this was going on. Cause I didn't make my first video until I left the company. I think I was signed up to YouTube, but never used it until I left the company. And my first video, I think it was in November of '96. I mean, not '96, 2006. I'll never forget it. And look at us now, making video. Well, anyway, I gotta charge this phone because it's set up here all night. After somebody hacked my Facebook for whatever reason that was about, I just had to get that fixed. Yep, I remember they were 5-minute videos, and that was all you could do. Well, nothing like today. Anyway, I'm out. Thank you for your time, as usual.